You're fidgety. It's okay.
It's more than that.
Don't we all have that?
Well, yeah.
Like a bit of it?
A bit of it. It's a longer story, but yeah, there is more to it.
We got time, Leah.
You know, when
Stories is what this is
you
all
know
about.
when you were younger and you had like ticks, manhole covers?
Sure.
When I was younger, I had to walk between manhole covers, so both sides had the same amount. So I had to walk the same amount to my left and to my right. So if there were two, I walked in the middle. If there were three, I had two on the left and one on the right. So I had to remember I need one more on the right. So the next time I see one, I have to walk on the left of it, so it's on my right.
Yeah.
And this didn't stop until I was like 25.
Has it stopped? I mean, really?
Ish. Also, like, I have to move my fingers and I have to do it in a certain rhythm and keep it. There's so much stuff that I have to do. Like, I have to do fidget. At work, I fidget with a pen. I have my Rubik's Cube. I have so much stuff that I have to move something at all points. Also, when I work at home, I always move while sitting or like learning. I sit on my leg. I sit on my foot. I sit like legs crossed in my chair.
Yeah.
And they move around all the time because I just can't sit still.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was that about manholes? What? Can you go back a bit?
Okay. Manhole covers, right?
No.
How do I explain this? How do I explain?
Those big metal circles in the street that keep you from falling into the sewer system,
But also there's
cover the sewer
also
system.
smaller ones on the sidewalk,
Yeah,
right?
sure. Yeah.
And when I drove my bike or when I walked, I tried to walk so I had the same amount. I passed the same amount on my left side and on my right side. So when I had two, I tried to walk in the middle between them. So I had one left, one right, and I started counting. So then if there were three, one side would have had one more. So I had to remember which side had one more, and the next time I passed one, that one would have to be on the other side.
And what if you didn't find one? Would you go looking for something?
I would remember that for the rest of the day.
Oh, God.
So I remembered on my way to school, there were 33 manhole covers. So I knew at some point, okay, there's one there. And then on my way back, I knew the number wasn't right. So then it's 66. So then I can make it work. And then when I drove my bike, it looked like I was drunk all the time because I was just swerving because I was like trying to have like the same amount on the left and on the right. And that until I was 25. And sometimes I still catch myself walking, like, I live near Priesallee. It's one long street with a lot of like those smaller manhole covers. Every time I see them, like, I have the urge of doing it. I'm like, no.
All right, I get you. You guys might have to edit this one out.
Wow, that was quick.
No, but see, I have a thing about keys. Like, I always have to lock my door twice.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, if I just lock it one time, like, I feel, I don't feel safe enough, I guess. So it has to be, 2 times. I don't know. You probably can't compare these two things.
I think that's fair enough. Sometimes I forget if, like, when I step out the door, I'm like, did I close the door? And then if I know someone is home, I will call them, like, can you see if the door is closed? Because I don't remember. Yeah. I also oh man, this is getting worse and worse. We have
it's a confessional
we have
already.
we have small hooks for keys.
Okay.
And I always have to hang my key on the far right hook. This is like for me like my hook. And when I hang my key, there's a small ring, and I have 2 keys and one like memoir thing, right?
Okay.
Something that's on there.
Little decoration.
Okay. And I need 1 key on the left of it and 1 key on the right of it. And I always hang it the same way.
Where do you hang it again? At
the far right hook.
As long as you don't vote far right, it's fine.
I don't. Opposite. But also, I have like a lamp that you can open up and close. Yeah. That can extend in my room.
IKEA one?
Yeah, the IKEA one.
The one that is like
that it looks like a Death Star.
Yeah,
okay.
The ugly one? Ugh.
I like it. Every time I go to bed, I have to make sure it's closed up again. If it's not, I can't sleep. Like, I have certain things in my room that have to be a certain way, otherwise I cannot sleep. Jesus. Like, my desk has to, like, I have a standing desk.
I need to be covered by a blanket, and even that's optional.
Like, if I'm far away from home, I don't care anymore. Then it can be anything because it's not my place that has to be sorted.
But when it's your space.
If it's my space, it has to be a certain way.
Okay.
Like my keyboard has to be a certain way. My desk has to be of a certain height. My chair needs to be turned a certain way. Otherwise, I cannot sleep.
Well, I do have a system for hanging up clothes to dry. Now that I come to think of it,
Okay.
you know, there's a system to it, and it has to be done that way. And if it's not, done that way, then
Then the clothes won't dry. They'll just stay wet. Anything that gets you through the day, I think, is the bottom line.
Yeah, right. I do have
Hard enough to get through the
a
day.
system to dry my clothes too. It's like you don't hang the thick clothes next to each other in the same row.
exactly no. Exactly. You have to leave a row for socks or tank tops or underwear
Because
in
it
between
dries
because
too long.
Exactly.
And then
See?
it smells. Sometimes if it doesn't dry properly, then
It's never gotten that far with
no,
my clothes, but-
because I have to. I dry my clothes in the same cellar in where I need to wash my clothes, and it's cellar, so it's a little bit cold in there. So yeah, there has to be a certain system.
There's like the category which is like yes, 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 no. There was
No.
like yeah, absolutely no.
No,
I feel like at some point something is like there's a logic between to what you do, and it's only an issue when there is no discernible logic and it's just a tick you have or something that even maybe hinders your life that you still like feel inclined or forced to do. At that point, it's an issue or a problem or something.
get help. This is what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
I haven't said that because I have not gotten help, therefore I cannot advertise for it.
Well, David Sedaris has this wonderful short story in Dress Your Family in Corduroy called A Plague of Ticks. And it's essentially him recounting all of his childhood ticks, like the ones you're talking about. He had several, like having to touch a doorknob certain amount of times before he could open a door, or sometimes the doorknobs would look so tasty he'd have to lick them. Yeah, just really weird stuff that he, for the longest time throughout his childhood, had to do, and he was kind of ostracized by his family as a result.
He got so lucky that his childhood wasn't during COVID. Like licking every doorknob might have been a bit more problematic.
You know, who knows? Maybe that's what happened in Wuhan.
So first, the bat licked the doorknob.
It was just David Sedaris or someone like him.
That somebody mistook a doorknob for a cookie, right?
Something. Or just, lots of doorknob
And that's how we
lickers.
got corona.
Welcome back to another episode.
Hey, man, you started us off. May as well continue.
I didn't.
Then I'll continue. Greetings, persons of quality, and welcome back to this yet another fantastic episode of Anglisten Assemble. Here today, as always, are who's not personally drinking right now. Kate, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. I'm fine.
Excellent. And Leon, now that you've had a chance to finish your drink, how are you doing today, Leon?
I'm good. I'm done drinking. It's better now.
Excellent. And as an exciting guest today, we have Dr. Diana Fulger, who has come to join us to, get to know us a little bit better, and hopefully you get to know her a little bit better throughout the process, as well as, going through our lightning molasses round questions. We also have possibly some questions we could ask about inter-American studies.
Absolutely.
So we need to do a little bit of advertising, I think, on that front as well. So yeah, welcome, Diana.
Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. So we are going to stick with our structure here, our program, to get through our lightning molasses round, I think as slowly as possible, as much as we named it a lightning round at some point.
It's there's no lightning
There's no
involved.
lightning.
Okay.
Just keep talking. I haven't found the order with the questions yet.
They haven't changed from the last time,
Yeah,
Leon, I promise you.
forget.
There was one about tea or coffee.
Correct.
Because we actually, we talked about this for a bit earlier today, right?
Do you want us to leave the room so you can answer the questions by yourself?
Like we already know the answer.
Well, I didn't hear the answer, so I'll go for it. So I'll start off the lightning round with tea or coffee, Diana?
Coffee.
Okay. Any particular way?
With a lot of milk. So Basically, it's milk with coffee, not the other way around.
Okay.
Maybe it's milk. Maybe my favorite drink is milk with a bit of coffee in it. No, latte macchiato would be basically the type I go for. Yeah.
Kate, what did we name the folder?
Sorry.
Why don't you just go on with the...
Can you send me a screenshot?
I think I have an email
I was
somewhere.
going to say, I just look for the emails. Y'all, what are you doing that's so complicated?
I'm looking at the Google Drive.
How long have you guys been doing this?
It's
So
been a
why did
couple
I
of days.
for...
Do the questions change?
No.
All right, so they're all...
No. He's got no excuse. As much as I'd like to give him one.
We talked about how organized I am.
No, like he has this memories problem. Like it's a fish. Leon is a fish. You know what? I have for the contact for Leon, I have Dory as a picture.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
I didn't know
And
that.
every time he calls me up, I see a Dory, and I was like, oh yeah, that's Leon.
Dory's adorable.
Story
Yes.
is adorable. And maybe, Kate, you should go on with the next question while
Yeah,
Leon
sure.
continues to look.
Just send me a screenshot, please. I can't find it.
I got it.
Okay, all right. So what is your favorite comfort food?
I like food.
Yes.
Yes.
Me too.
Period. No, well, I think, you see, every time I go visit my mom,
Yeah.
that's where I get my comfort food.
Okay.
So anything that my mother cooks, and I think everybody would agree, is the best food in the world. There's a lot of meat involved.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cheese involved. Bread, I love bread. Right?
Okay.
So, and those things in any combination, and then of course chocolate.
Chocolate. Okay.
But I want to say,
Is there a certain particular dish that you are craving the way that your mom does? Because you can probably cook it yourself, but it's not the same.
well, there's a typical, Romanian dish, like the national dish, and that my mother always cooks better than I can, which is called sarmale.
Oh yeah, that's
I
amazing.
have no idea. I think it's cabbage rolls.
Yeah.
It's sort of like they have something similar here in Germany, but not really.
Okay.
And no matter how many times I try to get it right, I will never get it as tasty as, from my mother's
Okay,
oven.
did we have those?
Yes, we had those.
Good to know.
Right, did you? Did
Yes,
you try
of
them?
course.
Apparently.
And?
Top notch.
I don't...
Well, you don't remember.
Dory doesn't remember.
Wait. I have a question. With Mama Liga on the side?
No, you see that's a completely different thing for me. Like mamaliga has to be eaten with cheese and with sour cream.
With
like you
brinza,
cannot mix that with
Okay,
salmon.
I
No.
see.
Those are to be eaten with bread.
I see.
All right, for those of the folks at home that don't know, can we describe what these terms represent? It was your question. I don't know why you're pointing at Deanna,
Because-
Kate.
No, honestly,
Because
I
I-
apparently have eaten it, and I'm still excited for the
Because I
answer.
feel
Yeah,
like
right.
Diana will be able to explain Mama Liga because I am somehow familiar with the Romanian culture, but I'm not representing the Romanian culture here.
All right.
Well, you can
That's
still
fair.
explain it, but I mean, I think the direct translation here is polenta.
Yeah. Cornmeal?
It's it's corn flour basically mixed with water and a bit of salt, and you just boil it until it becomes like porridge sort of,
Yeah.
but like of a like more of a harder consistency, I guess.
More sticky.
More sticky. I don't know.
I remember.
There we go.
For those of you at home, I believe a light bulb has just gone on in Leon's head. It's really bright in here right now.
So, I don't know if you knew, but Kate and I went to Romania last year.
I knew. Yes, she told
Okay.
me. I even
s-
saw the T-shirt that she brought back for you, Brian. Actually, was it?
I was the recipient of the Romanian T-shirt prize.
So been there, done that, right? Got the T-shirt for someone else, but I got the T-shirt.
So I like if you explain the food, I might be like, oh yeah, I remember that. But if you just say like, oh, it was this dish, then I'm lost. There was a lot of new experiences for me. So I don't. It's one big bulb of just like different stuff that I've never experienced before. We also went like we had their different dishes for 2 weeks, and I didn't know most of them. So I might need more than just a very plain description to know if I know this dish or not.
All right, well, in that vein, maybe we should go back to samala, since that was the actual answer to the question.
I think I might have to cook that dish and bring it to the university. Leon, how about that?
That might be helpful.
I like how you hedged that with might.
This is not a good episode for me.
But it's certainly a fun one.
This is definitely like an outing type episode.
We've got your tics, your memory problem. We've got all sorts of good stuff to work with. I'm sure all of the people out there are fascinated.
Wait, I just remembered something. Actually, there is something I crave, but only when I get sick.
Okay.
Fried chicken and chocolate cake. That's
The combo.
It's the combo. It's not, you
Okay.
can't have just the one or the other. It's the two of them together. But that really is only when I get really, really, like, I have a cold,
Okay.
or, I'm lying in bed with a fever, and then I wake up and I'm like, fried chicken and chocolate cake.
Like, are we talking KFC?
No. We're talking, quality fried chicken.
Okay.
But still as different dishes, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't. I eat the fried chicken first and then the chocolate cake.
Yeah. Okay. Then I
So
agree.
nothing about, vitamins and oranges and no. Fried chicken.
But
and
fried
chocolate
chicken is
cake.
like antibiotics,
Well, if
No,
it's
it's not.
fried, I don't think so.
It's also just not.
Well, maybe with all the human growth hormone that they pump into those chickens.
Yeah, but it's like saying like pizza is healthy because there's tomato on it. It's like, no.
That's what my boyfriend
That's
says.
right. Pizza is a fruit because there's tomato on it.
Based on the American healthcare system, it
okay.
indeed is.
Fair enough.
Now that I have, finally, thanks to Brian, I have the list next to me. And I've seen these questions before, I remember. What is your favorite book?
Right, there we go.
No. Go away.
All right, people. You simply cannot. You can't ask this question. I don't have one favorite book.
Recent favorite. How
re-
about that?
Or one of many, or a couple of
One
many.
of many. All right. So
I think Vivian came in with a whole stack of books to answer
Yeah,
this question,
right.
so feel
But
free
also
to go
the
wild.
book you
Okay.
wanted other people to read the most.
that's that question wasn't on the list. That's a good question. I think I function better in authors than books. So I have favorite authors.
Okay.
I love Edgar Allan Poe. Right, his short stories, his poems. I love Ernest Hemingway, his short stories, not the novels necessarily. There's something about that, right, minimalist writing style of his, the so-called iceberg theory, right, that I think makes you, as a reader, supply more content than it is provided. And I think that somehow generates, a much more complex and richer response in a reader. I admire William Faulkner. Can't really read him, but I admire him. Although one of my favorite books is still As I Lay Dying, and I think that that is one of the books that most people should read.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'd have to say, Toni Morrison, also another author that I love. Zora Neale Hurston, and her, I think, Their Eyes Were Watching God, her biggest novel, so to say, is also a book that I recommend to my students. And then there's like the poets, T.S. Eliot. I think The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock is still like my favorite poem, all-time favorite poem. Mostly the modernists, I would say. I think in terms of authors, it's particularly U.S. American modernist authors that I really admire. And then there's, Sandra Cisneros' The House on Mango Street, which is kind of like one of the books I love most, but in a very personal manner, because I think it just speaks to me very well. So I don't know. I could go on, right?
I can
welcome.
definitely see how your preferences in authors influenced the class I had with you, because we read. I remember that we read T.S. Eliot and we read Poe and some other authors you mentioned. I'm like, yep, okay, I remember those. that we at some point had to. I think even one of the paper I had to write was, or like essay or something similar was about one of them. I think Poe. So I'm like, yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
So if basically you cannot recommend students to read that, you just make them read that in
Exactly.
your class.
That's the way to go.
This is not a recommendation. This is, you just have to do it.
Required reading list. Cool. So we've gone from favorite book. Why don't we move genre and tackle what's your favorite movie? Or one of your favorite movies. Or maybe we go with directors.
Please,
I don't know.
please rephrase that question.
What are your 15 favorite movies?
My 15 favorite movies. Now, there again, I would go with genre.
Okay.
So Gothic cinema, anything Gothic is basically, number one on my list. Period pieces. Crime thrillers, psychological thrillers, detective stories, noir, like Scandinavian noir, for example. Now, if you actually found a way to combine all those genres for me, then I would be the happiest. And I want to say, I think there's been like certain shows that combine at least 2 or even 3 of those genres. I think anything about Jack the Ripper, right? Because, it's definitely Gothic by nature, right? And it's going to be psychological and a crime thriller. And then it's definitely going to be a period piece. Possibly the show The Alienist. I think it also might have attempted, right, to fit into all those different genres. But otherwise, I mean, if you ask me for favorites, season 1 of True Detective, Southern Gothic. But just season 1, not the rest. And then because it was created by Karioji Fukunaga, and he's one of my favorite show creators, film, directors, producers, I love his version of Jane Eyre. I basically, again, I'm talking about more like directors now than one actual film. Anything that Guillermo del Toro makes.
Okay.
And also one of my favorites, Robert Eggers. So his latest Nosferatu is, that film is just pure love for the Gothic.
You mentioned Jack the Ripper. Have you watched Whitechapel, the show?
I tried watching it, but unfortunately, I only got the German version of it, and I will not do that to myself. Nope. I refuse to watch films dubbed in German or any other language. I grew up with subtitles and the original versions, and I think that is the best way to really experience a film or a show, or cinema in general. So whenever I find the original version, then yes, I would love to.
I remember watching it like almost 10 years ago.
Is it good?
If you like Jack the Ripper, it's worth watching. I think it's better than some seasons of True Detective. And I think if you like crime and if you like Jack the Ripper and if you're just like mystery stuff, then it's worth the watch. I wouldn't say it's like one of the best shows I've ever watched or like the show ever, but it's definitely worthwhile.
I just love the comment. If you like crime and Jack the Ripper, and my mind immediately went to, no, well, what if you like Jack the Ripper but not crime? So it's just Jack the Ripper hanging out, drinking coffee in a cafe. Fair enough. So Whitechurch. Yes, no.
No, Whitechapel.
Chapel. Sorry.
It's the district.
Chapel Church. Good. Fair enough. Kate, I believe you're up.
Yeah, I just wanted, before we wrap up this movie thing, have you seen The Preacher? The TV show? Because I feel like it goes into that noir kind of direction.
Remind me a little bit. Is it The Preacher or Preacher?
The Preacher, I think. It's Dominic Cooper is.
No.
No?
See, I don't. No,
Okay.
Dominic Cooper. No.
Why not?
I don't know. It's just I think I watched the trailer and I was like, no. I mean, maybe I'll give it a try. I mean, tastes do change throughout the years, but I think he didn't have enough. I don't know, pathos for me at that point.
Okay, I see.
I have a question for Brian and Kate. Was Diana's recommendation of Nosferatu the reason we watched it?
Oh, I
hope so.
I was going to watch it no matter what.
Oh, okay, because we went to see the movie like 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago?
Yes, because the day before, or maybe 2 days before, Anna and we talked to Diana, and Diana's like, you have to watch it, you have to watch it.
I remember there
in a
was
cinema."
a link.
So
And
maybe
I
it was indirectly the impetus, because I remember saying I want to see it, but I couldn't find it in English.
Yes.
And then you came around the corner with, I've got one in English.
Yes. And then I was like, I gathered all the people, and then we went there.
So yeah, we also watched.
Right. And
I'm enjoying all the memes that are coming after the movie.
But how did you like the movie?
The movie, I liked the costume and the way that they presented Nosferatu. It was because it's a ripoff of the Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
I felt like he looked like actual Vlad Tepes. In a way, a little bit the mustache.
a little bit. I guess nobody really knows, what he really looked like anymore. But yeah, but I know.
The portrait, and the way the style, the clothing. I like the clothing and the general, the way that they pictured everything. Was
But
really
exactly, what did
beautiful.
you think about the cinematography of that film? I mean, it's absolutely
gorgeous.
amazing. That's why I said, this film is pure love. Like whoever the cameraman was, and then in connection with whatever Robert Eggers pictured and wanted to see on that screen, that love for detail and just the it's gorgeous. I'm speechless, seriously. I remember actually I was sitting there jaw dropping, basically just my jaw dropped, and I was like, oh my God, because every single frame of that film is, first of all, an homage to German expressionist filmmaking, right? And there's every single detail is so well thought out. It's just
Right.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, there's the scene at the crossroads in the forest as he's
Exactly.
going towards the
Yes,
castle.
that
It's
one.
like there's just light on the crossroads.
Yeah.
You see a darkened forest around him and just light coming from above the canopy of the
Exactly.
trees. And little snowflakes. In the
Exactly.
light. Just
Yeah.
so well thought out.
That's also the scene, like when I think about the movie, I always remember like the crossroads scene with the like carriage coming up. And actually, I'm currently doing research for a paper on Dracula and like the origin of the character and how like the portrayal changed over the years. And we had a long discussion about Nosferatu and if I should implement it in the paper or mention it. And after we talked about it a long time, I feel like I now have to, just because like otherwise these two will rip me apart.
But you know what, Leon? The best Dracula is still the one played by Gary Oldman.
Yeah, fair enough.
Nobody will play Dracula like Gary Oldman did. It's just, priceless.
It comes on the list.
Do you have a favorite fictional character?
Surprisingly enough, I do.
It's Nosferatu.
No, it's actually Jane Eyre.
Okay.
Seriously. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a strong character.
She's, yes, resilient.
Yes,
Resilient. I think, and that's possibly the one trait that I admire most about this fictional character.
I like the quote from the book, which I cannot remember the exact same way that she said that, but she said, we must strike back as hard as we can in order to teach people not to strike us again. Like, if you have to fight back, then you fight back.
Yeah.
This is when she was in this house where she was put in this
By her
uncle?
aunt. Uncle, yeah.
Yeah. And this is where they would like beat the kids and then she would always fight back. So I like that. I was 13.
Listen up, Leon. So you got to fight back.
Actually, my favorite literary quote comes from somewhere else. The Great Gatsby. The ending line.
Oh yeah.
And so we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past. I think that is my favorite line ever from a book, and probably one of the few that I remember actually.
Where you at, Leon?
I'm
Gone.
thinking if I can remember any quote from any book I've ever read.
The answer is no. Moving on.
For some, all I hear is like let them eat cake. Like that's not from a book.
Fair enough.
Sounds like a film.
So you want to ask the
No, it's your question.
Sure enough.
Thought you guys might, would be better organized by
No,
now.
Oh, if you thought we were going to be better at this, no.
It's still a lightning
Happy to
round.
disappoint. We're not.
Ouch.
It's the charm.
No, because I'm organizing this entire thing. They just come. This is the talent, creative part, organizing part.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I
Oh,
didn't.
but
I
it's
didn't mean
okay.
it as a-
No. It's her whipping us into shape, and whether or not she's whipping properly or we're being whipped
No, she's
properly.
only whipping me.
It's
Fair.
like the system, that we talked about, hanging up clothes, right? So you just
Brian,
have
can
to-
you take out the sword from my bag with which Diana stabbed me?
Sorry.
It looks good there. We should hang some clothes on it.
I'm like, am I like the thick clothing? I'm like the sock. Like, which part am I? Which part
Are you the stinky underwear? It could be anything.
I assume so. Like,
Okay.
We should probably move on to the next question.
what is your favorite slang term in this lightning round?
You can curse. I always say
Can
that.
I?
Yes. Please.
Because I would just say the F word, right? But you want me to say it?
No, you don't have
It's
to.
okay.
You can say whatever you want.
I say it too often. Right?
okay.
So and sometimes, it slips out. I even say it in class, and I tell my students, "Do not talk like me, please." Yeah, the F word. I guess it's just
Makes
everywhere.
you relatable. It makes you human.
I am. Yes.
So you can say that.
Last time I checked, I
Say that. It's okay to know how
That's
to-
exactly what a robot would say.
fucking hell. There you go.
We got it.
Can I have like the yay or something? We used to have it. Yes. Nice.
But I also like, and then I think I use dude a lot. Dude.
If dude is a slang term, then I've been cursing way more than I thought.
Wait. Slang and curse is not the same thing.
Yeah.
Dude is certainly slang, but it's not a curse word.
Fair enough.
Everything is slang, Leon.
Everything is language.
Okay. Am I the next one to ask the
No,
question?
Brian is.
Oh, yeah, I get the fun question. So, Oxford, comma,
That
yay
one.
or nay?
Always.
Yes.
Always.
Always. It's automatic. I don't think it looks good. But it just like, if I don't put it there, then I start feeling like you, Leon, like I have to come back to the document, open it up again and to the email and put the comma there. So, yes.
Okay.
It also fits because I always say I love the Oxford comma. Great.
Sounds like it's,
Well,
part of a theme here.
For me, it's also because like I write stuff that I read out loud sometimes, and then it's like when you have a comma, it's basically for you to stop while reading out loud, which helps.
I think it's there for a reason. And like I said, I think I've been trained to use it, and I don't feel right if I don't use it. So I really have to go back to the document and put it in there, because otherwise it has to be there.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be there.
We listen. We don't judge.
Kate, I have a hard time believing you don't judge. I'm
I'm not. For the comment, not. For other things, maybe. But you'll never know. You'll never know.
Oh, I know.
We have experience, and
Yeah, we know the judgment. I feel you look, okay? I feel you look.
I think
Anyway.
I think it's the Slavic trait in me, the blood. You
The
know?
Slavic trait, the Slavic blood in you. Explain.
I'm
I need to know more.
like I'm from Uzbekistan, right?
Oh, no, I
Yes.
didn't know that.
And I speak Russian as my mother tongue. Yes. And I'm
Awesome.
half Korean, or maybe like 60-something% Korean, and the rest is like Russian. And the culture is a mix between Korean culture,
I mean,
Uzbek
that's-
culture, and Russian culture. So it's the Slavic. And it's the probably Uzbek part, at least the Asian part where we just be judging.
No, but wait a second. So were you born here, or did you?
I was born there.
There,
I
okay.
grew up there till I was 14-ish.
Yeah.
Then I spent a year in Russia. Then I came to Germany when I was 15. So,
Wow.
yeah.
I also didn't know that for the longest time. I always thought that she was there for like a couple of years, she like 4, and then moved to Germany. I was like, no, with 50, I'm like, oh god, that explains a lot.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I mean, that's a really.
Yeah, I was told that she was smuggled out of North Korea sometime.
Yeah,
You guys.
No. That's my party
actual
story.
story
That's
she
her-
said.
Yeah, that's her party story.
That's
not
my
me.
party story. Like people, the first time I told this story was in when my friend invited me to a how do you call that? The Jugend
Get
Gruppe?
together or something.
Yeah, together, youth get together from the church, and they usually have a very young married couple there, people who don't wear shoes at all, and then we had this prayer a little bit, and then at some point they would be asking me questions. Hey, where do you come from?
You told this story in church?
Yes, it was church thing. And then they would be having this white people Christian save everyone complex, and they would ask me, where do you come from? And I was like, am I telling the truth? No, I'm not. I'm gonna mess with them.
Have you guys had an episode with Kate only? Just get to know Kate, sort of.
We're slowly kind of pushing into all of our boundaries here. Kate's story about not really, but being smuggled out of North Korea is a first here on the pod.
And I told them that I was a North Korean refugee, and at that point I watched a documentary on how the refugees from North Korea actually like escape the country. They cannot go through the South Korean border because it's heavily guarded, but they go through the Chinese border. And I was like, yeah, while going through the border, me and my father, I was actually trained to be a spy. That's why I speak so many languages. And they couldn't place my accent when I was speaking German, so they would be, oh, okay, and what happens? Like, yeah, and then the Chinese, they found us, and the Chinese actually, the government brings the people who escaped the North Korea back. So it's like, yeah, they almost caught us, but my father, he made sure that we can leave, but I think they caught him, and I think they have brought him back to North Korea, like we haven't heard anything, and because to stay in South Korea would be too close because Kim Jong-un is my uncle, we needed to go to Germany.
What are you guys gonna call this episode? It's gonna be difficult to find a title this time.
Okay.
Get to know Diana Fulger, North Korea.
I think we could go with like the Southern Gothic Faulkner stream of consciousness kind of deal right here.
Plus Korea story.
Well, I mean, it's all stream of consciousness. We'll take Korean stream of consciousness as well.
And we had like, because Brian, we had like talked to like the Gildy Gods mental people and other stuff. We talked a bit more about some of the things we've done, but ever since Cajun, we usually had like the interview with the lecturers where it's less about like get to know us. So every time we have like where we tell stories, there's like a bit more of us that gets revealed.
I see. It's a trend, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
So
I'm just happy we can edit this.
a little Wizard of Oz peek behind the curtain.
Like before you two got to the room, Kate and I also had like a long talk about stuff we haven't talked about on the pod before. I'm so happy we weren't recording.
okay.
And you don't know what we're talking
I
about.
think I want to ask a question. Let me ask a question.
Please, please.
Okay, if you could live in any literary world, which one would it be?
It would have to be the 19th century. Some literary world set in the 19th century, Victorian England probably. I would go with the Bronte sisters.
Okay.
Now the question is, would I really want to live there, or would I just want to
Visit.
Nah, not visit, but sort of like exist, but in a way, that does not affect my safety. Because, would I want to get, pneumonia?
No penicillin.
No, or, die from a paper cut? Would I want to be confined, to the household and have to marry whoever, my parents decide I should marry? No. But there's something about that literary universe that really fascinates me. Like I said, I love period pieces, right? And that, also applies to literature as well. And there's, it's Gothic, of course. It's dark and gloomy, so it fits with the rest of my hobbies. But yeah, I think I'm just fascinated by that particular universe that the Bronte sisters created. So maybe I'll go with that one. But then again, I also love the Alien franchise, right? It's not literary universe. It's some sort of universe.
To be fair, I don't know if I would want to live in the Alien universe, though. Some of it, it's...
Just, hunting xenomorphs. Come on.
Someone is going to do the hunting. I don't know if it's going to be you or them.
Well, I mean, you find out at the end of the day who was the hunted and who was the hunter.
But it's like the same with like people that, I want to live in like a zombie apocalypse universe. And like, you're going to be alive for 5 minutes and then you're a zombie. Like, you're not, like, if there's like 8 billion people and 6 of those 8 billion people are going to survive, like only 6 people, you're not going to be one of those 6. You're going to be one of those like 7 point something billion people. Like,
it's a roll of the dice for sure. But I mean, we don't know. Maybe being a zombie feels like the best heroin rush in the world for the rest of eternity. I mean, who knows?
Fair enough, I guess. I don't judge. You do you.
Just putting it out there. I didn't, again, not trying to yuck anyone's yum. If they want to be in a zombie apocalypse, let them be in a zombie apocalypse.
So how do we go from this to the next question?
What's
So the next question would be, if you could talk to one celebrity, author, or historical figure, dead or alive, who would it be? I assume it's not the xenomorph. So.
It's not the xenomorph. No, it's
One
also
of the
not Ellen
sisters?
Ripley. No, no. I think I would have to. I'd go with Hemingway. I think Ernest Hemingway. If I were to, think in terms of authors, well, celebrity also possibly. But then again, of course, I'd like to talk to my dad, who died when I was very young. Maybe actually, can I have them both? Like, sort of sitting down for a couple of beers with Ernest Hemingway and my dad. I mean, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Without the xenomorphs.
Yeah, fair enough.
The 3 of you hunting xenomorphs together with an elephant gun.
In Korea.
No, that's a bonding experience.
Good callback. Good callback.
So would that count as a guilty pleasure? Or?
I don't know. I guess I could open that one up then. So in terms of like, brain dead TV or movies or things like that, I mean, I don't think that the Alien franchise belongs in this category at all. It's good, high standard horror, sci-fi. At any rate, is there anything that you like to watch or even read or something that you would say is, it's not highbrow, it's pretty on the lowbrow area of entertainment?
Oh God.
Most of us don't judge.
No, I'm thinking because I.
Kate judges.
Yeah, yes. We've already established that. So no, but so you're asking me about guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
Kind of. Well, okay, but then I would say, does it have to be film or
No.
I mean, because I wouldn't. But then I wouldn't say it's not on the lowbrow, right? I wouldn't consider it that. But it's maybe a bit unexpected when you look at me, sort of like. What kind of music do you think I listen to?
Something 50s jazzy.
Yes, that too. I told you I love the Fallout soundtrack, right?
I would say 70s.
Yeah. Brian, you love that one too.
70s.
I'm into it.
So I love jazz, right? I love Miles Davis. I love John Coltrane. I love, Ella Fitzgerald. I love pop music as well, right? I love dark wave. So anything sort of 80s, post-punk, dark wave related. But I listen to a lot of metal as well. And when I say metal, I mean metal. Like
you mean screamo, right?
Yeah.
like what the way you put it, it sounds like xenomorph metal, but
I would love to just listen to that.
See, that was just the judgment coming through.
No, it's not the judgment. It's like the imitation that, to get the idea.
it's just sort of
The
like
image.
putting exactly these pieces together. No, I mean Gothic metal. Of course, Gothic. Of course, it has to be like Paradise Lost. I used to listen to a lot of Tiamat, Moonspell. But then, industrial as well. Also the more, let's say commercial ones like Korn and 9 Inch Nails. By the way,
I saw they're coming.
You saw that, right?
Mm-hmm. 9 Inch Nails is on their way. Folks, if you're into the whole 90s electro, industrial, urban electro synth, I guess, definitely check it out.
And you could, put some more commas in between then.
Oh,
Oxford
for
comma, and then, continue with different genres.
Absolutely.
And then sometimes even black metal. Yes, I mean I did listen to black metal when I was a teenager. And And I've been known to, again, I mean, when I was younger, every now and again, to write lyrics for Romanian metal bands, but I'm not going to tell you which ones. No, Kate.
I can just see Kate just ready to twist
Wait,
Deanna's
are
arm.
they on Spotify?
No.
Who?
Okay.
Yeah, it's very, they're very small, right?
Okay.
Sort of, underground. And
Okay.
I did write some lyrics for another one recently, for one song. But again, I'm not going to tell you where
It's okay, you don't have to.
No.
Because, I don't know. I feel like everyone has their certain things that they do that wouldn't share.
A lot of us write. I mean,
Yeah.
I used to have a writers club actually during Corona, right? So during the pandemic, I realized, a lot of us love not just to read, but also to write, be it poetry or short stories or novels. There's, I'm sitting here basically at the core of, lovers of literature and creative writing. So I founded a writers club, and
Is that still going on?
not anymore, really. It kind of died out also after the pandemic. So interestingly enough, it went better during the pandemic. But Pat was in there, and then a friend of hers, Robin, who's an actual British writer, like an actual writer. He published books, really. And Mashid was in there, obviously, and she's also published a couple of poetry books, I think, in the meantime. And Sarah Lena was in there, and Annette was in there, and then a couple of our students actually were in there as well. So it went well for a couple of years, and then it kind of went to sleep. So I might revive it at some point, though, I guess.
It's always a question of time with those kinds of things. Trying to get everybody onto the same
Leon,
page.
you're awfully quiet.
It's good. We'll wake him up. We'll wake him up for the last question. So the last question we ask everybody.
Oh no.
No, it's a neutral one. You should ask.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, in a pistol duel, who do you think is going to win between Leon and Kate?
Does anyone answer differently?
No, most people answer the same way.
I think this is why Kate originally developed the question.
Yes.
She just wanted to hear over and over again in Leon's presence that she would win this pistol duel.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, Leon.
Yeah, I knew it.
No, but David, when he came to the podcast, he said it would be like Breaking Bad scene where we both shoot each other and it would be like both die.
Well,
Oh.
no.
Oh.
The thing is, every guest has a different explanation on why you would win, but the result is more or less always the same. So what is your explanation why she would win?
I think she would react faster.
Fair enough. I don't think that's true, but fair enough.
I mean, to be fair, you have been spacing the last 5 minutes. I don't know where you've been.
No, it's just every question we ask. I get
Like, you
lost.
didn't even see this question coming. We ask it every time.
But then again, it's a question of distance, right?
Is it? I mean,
I mean, I think you might have better aim.
like we played paintball. We both did really good, but we were in the same team. We both have experience with shooting in different occasions. So it's like, I think it's fair. It's just, for some reason, people just see Kate like, yeah, she would win.
Why do you ask these questions? I mean,
She came up with the
she came
question.
up with it.
you would have to actually see these two people throwing things at each other in order to make like a
I'm
proper
down for that.
judgment.
Let's go.
To
I
see
see them
who's,
throwing insults at each other all the time. I
so
mean,
who's faster, right? And who's got better targets?
yeah,
I feel like
tough call.
most people have answered like Kate would win because she's more ruthless. Like,
Oh,
I
but
have-
that's not nice.
well, it's also true.
I think she believes that as well.
I'm good.
Is that? Yeah?
I'm happy.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Does that make up for the sword that I
It's still there.
No, it's okay.
put in your back earlier?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, well, why don't we shift gears here for a second? And now that we've killed Leon for the umpteenth time,
I think it's like, is it like 10-2 or 10-1 or something?
I don't know. I have to look at my Instagram
no.
account because we have an Instagram account and
Oh,
I
you
do the
you
count.
keep the score.
Yeah,
All right.
she has a counter, and every time she wakes up and feels bad about something, she looks at it.
When I feel frustrated, right?
You guys have much love for each other, don't you?
Yeah.
Sure. Love, yeah.
It's like a sibling I never had. This is nice.
Yeah, I have a sibling, but so I get bullying from both sides. Great.
Well, she had to leave her sibling back in North Korea. I mean, come on.
No, it was her father.
So give her something, man.
All of her siblings.
Come on.
And her uncle.
Yes, and my uncle.
So I wanted to switch gear to Inter-American Studies, actually.
I want to see that transition.
It just happened. So,
Okay.
I mean, we've already talked about some of the things you do around the department. And I mean, part of this podcast is letting people know who they're going to be seeing in their lectures, right? So Leon's already mentioned like the old BM2 American literature course. And so where would people find you most as far as the bachelor program is concerned before we shift gears to the master's?
As far as the bachelor program is concerned, yes. So the basic modules, right? So the Basis 1, right? So the language practice module, basically teaching, speaking, and communication usually. Then obviously the second basic module, Introduction to Literary Studies. Usually I teach academic writing or the gap course, so genres, authors, periods. Very often, modernist literatures.
Okay.
The profile modules, of course. And then, I guess that's it, right? That's
All
it.
right.
So American studies, basically, around that area, yeah.
So if we take maybe the last 2-3 semesters looking back, do you have a favorite course that you taught out of those modules?
Southern Gothic film.
Okay. What kind of stuff did you do in Southern Gothic film?
We obviously did season 1 of True Detective.
The whole thing.
The Beguiled.
Ooh.
And what else did I think there was a third one, but I can't seem to remember now what the third one was.
Okay.
But those would be, so actually my favorite courses are the courses on film rather than on literature. For some reason, I teach film with more passion than I teach literature, I would say.
Okay.
Which is, I should probably not say that out loud, but I do. Maybe it's because those are the courses that I get to pick. Right. So I have to teach certain courses, and then I get like this one course that I can choose, and that I can teach the way I want to teach it. And usually that third course, right, because I have to teach 3 every semester, that third course will be on film if I can, right? So, and I'm really looking forward to my course this upcoming summer term on the Arctic Gothic, which is something that I will be teaching for the first time.
Like the Terror or...
Exactly, that's what we'll be doing the first season
cool.
of the Terror. Probably the 4th season of True Detective because it fits. There's a lot, that came out, I guess, over the last decade, I would say. And I think that I'm going to try to argue for, the existence of such a subgenre called the Arctic Gothic. I think that's not something that's been done very often so far. But I think there is such a thing as the Arctic Gothic.
Well, isn't that where Mary Shelley's Frankenstein kind of ends?
Also, right.
For
exactly,
example, I mean, we got Victor chasing the monster through the snowy,
right,
whatever, wilds of possibly the Arctic, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think the Antarctic, I think.
So it definitely exists.
I was so lost for this, like the Arctic horror. I was like, do they mean the actual Arctic? Like, because I didn't know. Like, is this like another period I forgot about? Like, no, wait, they're talking about like the actual Arctic,
physical place. Yeah. But those courses are actually always at the master's level, right? So they're not BA courses anymore.
All right.
Oh, that changed.
No, I mean that I teach those courses in the MA programs, right? So both British and American Studies and the MA program in Inter-American Studies, because I think they fit better in those programs and in those modules, and because it takes a while, especially if you're working with absolute beginners, who've never done film analysis before, and you have to teach them, all the tools and exactly right. So I'd rather teach those in the MA programs than in the BA programs, where I think the focus should be on, literary analysis first, and then, we see if you can, move on to film analysis or not. Otherwise, it becomes too much.
Do you do those courses as a normal seminar or as a block seminar?
I usually do them as normal seminars.
Because I've had multiple classes in like block seminar form about movies and like film analysis. And that usually works really well because you have like a very intense time frame, and you like all of it's just fresh and on your mind. Like the first 1 or 2 days are like refreshing analysis, and then you can just go full all in on whatever you want to analyze. That's awesome. Like I don't remember who did it. I think Till did it at some point or something, but it really helped.
I did that actually. I think 2 years ago. I think it was the summer term of 2023, and I taught a block seminar on Gothic cinema.
Oh, okay.
And that actually, it worked very well, of course, but at the same time, it's really intense.
It is.
And not just for the students, also for the lecturers. And at the end of that week, I was done for. So I don't enjoy block seminars.
Fair enough.
It's a lot.
I
all at once.
Yeah.
like I don't know if it's just me, but I'm like really accustomed to, because that's how I write papers and how I do research. I have like a week or two and I do like 80-hour work weeks on just like with this one paper that I'm done.
And then you sleep for the next 3 weeks, right?
I wish. It's being an insomniac is not great.
No.
And just wait until that's like a larger paper where it's not done in 80 hours.
No, per week.
Yeah. Trust me. There's more out there for you.
Oh, I'm aware.
I'm just putting it out there.
Looking forward to it. My 120-hour work week.
Ooh, fun.
Oh, God.
And that, folks, is the end of our first discussion with Dr. Deanna Fulger. Tune in again next time when we're going to move into yet another discussion, talking more about one of our MA programs here at Bielefeld University. Stay tuned for that. Stay frosty out there, and Excelsior Anglisten.
Give you a try. If you do well, you can go a long way. But if you fail,
The producers
try to
pledge that they will produce
You
only
can go a long way
videos
too.
which will contribute to your musical enjoyment and successfully meet your high-quality standards.
This episode of Anglisten Assemble was privately produced as a joint non-profit informational project of students and staff at the beautiful Bielefeld University. All views and opinions expressed on the show in no way reflect the official views of the university and are solely the perspectives of our hosts and guests. Information provided is true to the best of our knowledge at the time of production, but this is naturally subject to change as some details are time sensitive. Anglisten Assemble is produced and edited by Kate Lee, Leon Dalashel, and Brian Rosema for the private use of our quality audience. If you want to get updates and further info about Anglisten Assemble, check out our Insta at anglisten.assemble. And if you're enjoying what you hear, throw us a 5-star review on Spotify. Those help us spread the word and get more Anglisten to join the assembly. Musical accompaniment today includes the sonic stylings of music from allesgehmerfrei.de. And finally, we'd like to thank our special guest today, the distinctively delightful Deanna Fulger.